Hey man, YouTube, what's popping? Remember, like, share, subscribe. We live right now, live and direct. We gonna get into this 6ix9ine thing, man. We gotta talk about this as much as I don't want to. We gotta talk.
He's a genius. The marketing campaign was dope. What he did with the billboard in was it Times Square? Was that real or was that CG?
No, that's real.
No, that was real.
That was real.
So does that mean he did have money problems, or did his?
Oh no, he had no money problems.
His record label just like they paid for that as an advance. Like how
the rumor was he was given a $10 million advance for 2 albums.
From who?
I don't know. It was obviously it's not a major company like that, but it's a company that has money. My whole thing with 6ix9ine, to be honest, is that he's still kind of discussing these things about guns. Because I took an opportunity to kind of like listen to him when he was talking. He was like, okay, yo, if you fuck my baby moms, if you were scamming on me and trying to hurt me, like, of course I'm going to turn on you. And I'm like, all right, but you kind of knew what came with that. And you kind of continue to be like, I'm a gangster and show guns and things. So his new music, I wasn't expecting that he was going to be talking about guns. I thought he would have maybe used lighter content. Yo, he's still talking about guns. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing?
Look, he broke the record. He's making a ton of streams. You got to realize that, to me, from my point of view, I feel like there's a generational gap with his music. That it's more geared towards a younger audience,
for sure,
and like suburban white kids. And they don't give a shit about snitching.
They never did.
They look up to people like PewDiePie, who are trolls, who are polarizing and problematic, and say racial slurs. So they feed on that type of trolling attitude. That's why you have people like Catch Me Outside. She out here thriving too, with her career. Same kind of bullshit. That's why I was just like, 6ix9ine's gonna be good. He don't have to go to the hood. He's gonna be making money. He's gonna be doing shows in Calabasas. He's gonna be doing just fine.
Yeah, I understand, but it's just in hip hop culture. If we're gonna always allow that, then what about the exceptions of other people who've gone into situations like this? Because what he's discussed is way beyond music. He's talked about being part of street culture. So to be a gangster and say that I'm a Blood or I'm a Crip, it's like, okay, you've taken this decision to be part of this gang activity. There's no out of those things. So when you decide to grow up and evolve, you can be like, I've grown and evolved, but I'm still a Blood. I'm still a Crip. Look at Game, for example, and Snoop. They've evolved. They don't. Snoop doesn't necessarily talk about I'm the killer, but he's grown. What I don't like about 6ix9ine, and you're right, the younger audience, they don't care. But it just shows us, like, if it's about $1, people who put these dollars behind his back, basically they're promoting this. You know, there's always a hidden agenda. So it's just like, it's not about content of things that you feel anyways. It's just for now. So I don't know if 6ix9ine is going to be as successful as he was before, because there were a lot of people who were rooting for him. He was entertaining. He was, when he was doing the trolling and things like that, like, a lot of people enjoyed that. A lot of people enjoyed the fact that, he was funny, and he was like, oh, you're a gangster? Well, I'm in your neighborhood, rah, rah, rah. But then when it comes to a point where people are doing like equivalent of like 40 years, like, it's not funny anymore.
Yeah.
They don't care though, man. It's always...
I know.
It's funny until it ends up on their doorstep. Have you guys watched the show Dave yet?
Dave's funny, man.
So Casey hasn't watched it, but me and you, we watched it. So with Dave, you see the rise of him being a YouTuber and getting the record deal. And I remember at the last episode, they briefly talked about he's having an interaction with Charlemagne, and Charlemagne's talking about how white rappers always outsell black rappers, and that Eminem was the highest rapper of all times, and then Drake came through and did that. But Drake also had the Jewish community backing him.
Right.
When I look at the 6ix9ine, I see somebody similar to a white rapper. He has a lot of Caucasian fans backing him. So he's not going to have the same, like, street dudes backing him as Freddie Gibbs or West Side Gun.
Oh, I definitely believe that. I just feel like with what he's doing, he can make the content a lot more funner. Like, he doesn't have to talk about guns now. Like, bro, like, I would just kind of veer away from talking about anything where you're like, I'm gonna slap you, I'm gonna shoot you, any of that stuff.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it though.
No, but
it's not broke.
It's not true though. And it's like, we know it's not true. Even the people who listen to his music know it's not true. So
they don't care. They just are like, entertain me.
I hear
you. It's an unfortunate thing with
I hear you, man, but it's like,
I get what you're saying with hip hop culture, and what he's doing is polar opposites.
Like he's a rapper, bro. He'll never be considered anything beyond that. He'll make money. He's gonna always make money.
But he's not hip hop.
Yeah, Vanilla Ice made money. Like
exactly.
You can still make money, but to get like to the level where it's like respect, Grammys, things of that nature, like he's gonna make his money, and I would say run with the money for the time being. But in the long run, man, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna.
I can see him get the Grammy, man. I can see him doing a pop song with somebody like a Halsey, and that shit being like the song of the summer, and he getting a Grammy for it.
Right now, the big thing is that they're waiting for the person that he's gonna collaborate with. Because I guarantee you, the minute that he does collaborate with these people, the forces that be are gonna, the same forces that will march for like BS. Yo, the streets, they'll DM the hell out of the artists. They'll stalk the hell out of. Don't underestimate the people who like are out here and listen to the real ish, because it's just like we're surprised by his actions. The fans' actions can be even wilder. When it comes down to it, it's just who's the artist that's gonna take that, because reputation is reputation. That's why 50 Cent, they asked him on the radio. 50 Cent is a person who thinks money-wise, and they asked him, would you do a song with him? And he's all about money. If he really wanted to, he could be like, you know what? Yo, 6ix9ine is getting bread. Yo, I don't care about anything. 50 said no. No, I'm not doing anything. So
let me jump in on this, because this might be a false equivalency. So when Chris Brown hit Rihanna, it was one of those things where people are like, I ain't trying to touch this artist. Now, the difference is Chris Brown's extremely talented, but eventually artists will work with him, and then once they saw that, they're like, oh, it's okay. It's kind of like the equivalent of dipping your foot in the water to make sure it's warm before you jump in.
It's a little different because Chris Brown was like how old, 18 years old?
Yeah, true.
He only got his rise back at like 25. He had to be in like a point of time for like 6 years before people were like, yo, I'm going to mess with Chris Brown. There are people who rock with him, but it took years for him to get back to the level he's at. He had to stay low. He had to do a documentary. He had to do all of this stuff to show you like, yo, I'm not that person anymore. I made a mistake. Yo, it's not right. Domestic situation, he was 18 years old. He got into a situation with his woman Rihanna at the time. Because they were both young, it was just a decision in like not fair judgment. He wasn't thinking, you know what I mean? To be fighting and then do that and know that like I sing music that's R&B, my big audience is females. So like me beating up a woman and then coming back to be like melody, it's not gonna work. And as you can see, as much as Chris Brown has been talented, he'll never be at the level he was gonna be at. Never.
No, for sure.
No, that tarnished his image forever.
Yo, his music is great.
But 6ix9ine just got bigger.
Him.
But my thing with 6ix9ine is
numbers got bigger. He did 2 million on Instagram. The biggest thing that people saw was 600,000.
Yo, but for one, he hasn't been on anything for how many years? So just it's like been a time people have wanted to see what he's gonna say. So curiosity is what really is peaked at. A lot of people like it's gonna weigh down, bro.
But 6ix9ine doesn't think of that. Like he doesn't
think like that. But everybody else
has
thinks
somebody backing him that's way bigger than any of us can imagine.
Way bigger, way richer.
He's joined another gang. Man. He jumped onto another gang.
He's joined another gang.
He's a Latin king now.
He's gonna venture into Spanish music, and Spanish is a worldwide market. Spanish speaking is a worldwide, and he's from Mexico. He's not.
How do we know the label that's not backing him isn't like a cartel label or something like that?
We don't.
Right? You get what I'm trying to say right now?
Yeah, I do.
He's on a whole nother plateau of gang shit right now. I think, honestly.
Because the culture that I know of when it comes to like informants and things like that, we don't mention them. That person was a cool person at one time. They did a decision that affected them, but they knew what they were doing. The thing that bothered me the most about 6ix9ine is that 6ix9ine knew what he was doing when he was with these guys. So no matter what he wants to say about how they snaked him and things like that, when they had their straps in the videos, he was cool. When it was time to handle beef in Chicago, it was cool.
Well, he was pulling them to do that shit too.
When it was time to shoot at Chief Keef, it was cool.
Yeah, he was the one getting them to do it.
The thing that bothered me is like you had guys do hits for you, and now they're in jail for it this time, and you're just flaunting your $1 million chain and your $1 million watch and your value systems like that. Like you said,
they all went crazy, man.
The younger audience. My thing is like you said, the younger audience doesn't care. So the younger audience is going to follow suit. My fear is not the music. It's more of the actions. The things that he's done now is something that will eventually, the younger are going to do the same thing. You know what I mean? They're going to do basically, I don't care. 6ix9ine did it. 6ix9ine's rich now. So like you said, they're just looking for, and I'm telling you, the powers that be, like you said, it's definitely the powers that be that are propagating. Like they're putting that in the front. They're putting the whatever $1 million behind it because they're like, yo, we don't care. We want to just sell the story. He's entertaining. He's entertaining until he gets shot. Like, you know what I mean?
The story's not over yet. 6ix9ine story ain't over. He's on the run right now. He's on the run right now. He had to like leave his house because the neighbor of where he was staying right now leaked his address online. So he had to just get up and get in a van.
But yo, to tell you
the place where he's
gonna always have to do that. He's under police protection. You shouldn't even be doing any of that stuff. Stay in your house. Don't come outside of your house. I don't care.
People are driving around looking for him right now.
I'm telling you, this is a situation where people are. You have to understand the Bloods and the Crips are huge organizations.
Oh, yeah.
And what happens is some of these organizations are like 30, 40, 50 years old. Don't think that judges and lawyers and other people are not Bloods and Crips. Police. Yeah, this is deep. So when it comes down to it, he still dissed the Bloods. It had nothing to do with those guys in jail now. Now it's up to these guys to be like, yo, are we going to rat out for our set? Or are we going to rat out for what's right? And to me personally, I just wish that 6ix9ine would make music if he wants to make music, but don't put up the gangster no more. Get done that. Make party records. Make all those party records. Do a Will Smith. Do have fun. Don't try to act like you're doing something you're not when you know the people who did it for you are doing like 10, 15 years. You know what I mean? Change your dialogue. Bro.
How do you feel about like the hip hop leaders not going to 6ix9ine to try to get him to change his trajectory?
They tried. Fat Joe talked to him several.
No, but I mean, like while he was in jail or while he came out, like after all of this, and he said, like even in this, he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I learned, but fuck you," you know, like
Charlemagne talked to him for a whole hour on the
breakfast. But these guys, no, I know, but I'm saying after the fact, like after he came out of jail, that little pocket area where he was out, and people were wild and saying, nah. Do you feel like they should have reached out to this kid and been like, yo, this is the opportunity where you grow and you show?
I feel like there's probably been some channels of communication with people, but we have to remember with people, it's like, the situation is so messy. Yeah. So it's like, yo, we understand, like everybody was happy for him when he was doing something positive, getting himself out of the streets in terms of promoting himself and things like that.
Yeah.
But I just feel like no elder statesman can talk to the youth. Like you said, you know, there was a point in time where we couldn't be spoken to by maybe our parents or older people telling us like, yo, you know, you got to listen to this. You know, you can only learn through action, feeling it, going through it, seeing that it hasn't been as easy as you thought it was, and then learning. 6ix9ine is what? I think he's like 24? Yeah, he's 24. So 24, $10 million, Ferrari, Lambo, Bentley, things of that nature. It just makes you feel like, okay, if that's the circumstance, like I can do the same thing. That's the only thing I don't like, is that it's going to plant ideas in kids' heads to think that they can go about doing this, get away with it, come back out on the road. And not everybody's going to have the resources that 6ix9ine had when it comes down to it.
He's not the first one to do that, though. Like, I'm not going to sit here and act like 50 Cent didn't do that. And then 50 Cent went and named pure name for name gangsters in Queens. Supreme, all them. He named them in the raps. Like,
I know, but he got shot for it.
I know, but he still came back and kept doing it. It's like,
yo, but it's different because after the point,
he even got bigger after he got shot.
The thing is that he was insulated, but he still took 8 shots. So no matter what anybody can say, his body physically, he still feels pain from having those shots in him. So no matter what he's saying, it's physical. He had to get surgery. He still has a bullet in him. So I get it. Freedom of speech, you should be able to speak what you speak. But of course, because he did that, he still has this experience where he'll never be able to trust people the same. He'll never be able to do things. He had to get insulated. He had to wear remember when he was wearing his vest and he made it seem like it was a cool thing to wear? But he was wearing it because he was scared for his life. It wasn't like, this is just a cool thing.
Get Rich or Die Trying era. Like, he already got shot. Like, I'm saying, like, he already wilded out. Like, he was saying wild shit. Then he got shot. And then he put out Get Rich or Die Trying. And then he put the Massacre out even, and he was talking about them in those songs. He was naming people's names who were running around in Queens still, and they got busted. So it's like, he set an example for things that he's not, like, I'm saying 6ix9ine ain't the only one. 50 Cent, I love 50 Cent, but I'm just using him as an example for like this spiral of chaos that has been in rap for a long time.
But
it's not
what about like
6ix9ine
Bobby
the first one to
Smurder?
do that.
They're like, he didn't snitch, blah blah blah. They're trying to praise on him, but like, he's in jail for 7 years. He should have snitched. Then at this point, if 6ix9ine's still making all this money and profiting, while Bobby Smurder is going to be forgotten about by the time he gets out, who's going to be checking for him when he gets out in 7 years?
Yo,
he should have cooled out when he was hitting the trajectory of success. He should have been like, you know what, we're making more money right now in a week than we were making.
Well, Bobby's whole situation though, he's gonna come out to be a legend because what he did is, with his brother, everybody knows Roddy was gonna do more time than him.
Yeah.
And he was like, listen, blah 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 to the lawyer or the crown or DA, if you give us the same amount of time, I'll take it too. So both of them are serving concurrent the same years. So what's gonna happen is Roddy and Bobby are coming out at the same time. So it's a loyalty to be like, okay, you were down with me when I wasn't down with nothing. I could come out here and leave, but I'm not going to. I love you. You're my brother. We know that we both did dirt. I'm riding with you to the end. So legendary, Bobby's gonna be the king of the town when he comes out to New York. I guarantee you. I'll put money on it. I'll put money on it. Nobody's gonna be bigger than Roddy because they're gonna give him money. Because you have to understand, he's part of that gangster culture. And when you do what's right, people will pay you for that. People will send you bags. He's gonna get money. He's gonna come back out looking brand new. Money, car, everything, deal, everything, guaranteed. Guaranteed.
Now was that the case with Gucci being?
Well, Gucci, yeah, same like Gucci. Gucci comes out. Gucci had all that music stored up, so fortunately he had somebody just engineering all of that music. But obviously being in jail, he was able to clear up. No more drug problems, because he had all those mental issues. Remember when he blew up on Twitter, man? He was dissing everybody for a minute. Obviously, he was on lean and whatever the things he was on. And he came back home, and as you can see, like, he's done a glow up, man. He looks great, got married, he's still doing music. Now he's venturing into putting out newer artists. So it's not even about him anymore. He's trying to do, like, push another type of generation of artists. He knows that he will always be considered one of those people from Atlanta that they'll always talk about.
Now, the counter argument to that, to me, is Shine, because he did that bid for Diddy, and to me, it didn't, like, his career
situation is a little different though, because Shine got deported. If Shine was allowed to stay in America, he would have been big too. Because what happened is that he's not a resident. He had no status. So after that circumstance with him getting into those problems in the club, he did his time in his 10 years, and then he was sent back to the Belize. So right now, Shine is well off. Shine is good in the Belize. Like, he's loved. His father was the prime minister, so we may not visually see it, but you know, he's thriving, man. He's all right.
Now we gotta think about the thing that's connecting all these guys that have a bad situation and the ones that are the 6ix9ine who are coming to a good situation, or these guys that are actually getting a good situation now. It's the lawyers. Like, Cool's, like what Jay say, like, change is cool to cop, but more important is lawyer fees. Seemed like Bobby Smurder and them did not have a good lawyer. Shine didn't get a good representation in lawyer. Puff had a lawyer. Shine, he didn't have the same lawyer Puff had. You know what I mean? So like,
you know what happened too, man? When perfect example that you mentioned that, is just, I think about the whole circumstance from this. When it comes down to it, 6ix9ine was making a lot of money for these companies. So you have to remember, when you're making a lot of money through just talking and people are curious, they go stream this music, the companies are not going to stop. They're going to funnel whatever makes them money. And when it comes to this music industry, there are no morals. There's no moral code. As you can see, sometimes you hear some of these artists die from like overdose and things like that. I'm pretty sure that like these labels want them to, so that they can get more money off the back end for their libraries. Because it's sad when you see like a guy dies. For instance, Juice WRLD, you know, rest in peace. When he put out his music and he passed away, he sold 10 times more. XXXTentacion, same thing, passed away 10 times more. Now they say they're giving money to the family and everything, but there's no real ownership now. So it's like companies are still putting more marketing into it, so they're gonna get more on the back end anyway. So it's a messy time, man.
Very messy time. Now, me and Akil had a quick talk before we were connecting the stuff before, and Akil was talking about 6ix9ine being a parallel to the Joker. Do you want to expand on that?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, so I was on Instagram. Shout out to Ryan Davis. He posted a Instagram video basically saying that, you know, 6ix9ine's like the Joker. He's this colorful character. He comes in, he like had all these people backing him. He screwed them over, and the people still love him. And that's kind of the case that we see here. The only parallel I see with the two is like 6ix9ine likes to create anarchy, and his fans like the anarchy that he creates. Music-wise, his music's not for me. I think it's very basic and boring, and just just like rah rah rah, repeat the same lines 15 times type of music. It doesn't really have substance for me. But for the younger generation, they vibe to it. They really like. I don't know. I feel like he's a spokesman to the misfits right now.
Oh, for sure. I definitely feel like, you know what, he is an anti-hero. He was always an anti-hero when he came out. He stirred up shit because it's never really been about his music content as much as it's been about his antics. And he does do a lot of like trolling and things like that. Like, you know, he made that word popular by doing some of the actions that he's done. No one else was going out here trying to do that. But then, you know what? The difference between 6ix9ine and I would say some rappers is that he's an entertainer. Like, it's not, the music is not important. The music was never important. I wouldn't be surprised if this guy delves into movies or whatever, but the music was never the top priority. It was always the actions and the things behind. So he would do all of this drama and then he would release the record. He would always do bullshit to build up anticipation for what else he's going to do. So every time it's just like he steps up, he's always trying to outdo himself. That pressure in itself is dangerous too, because some of the things he's doing, whether he realizes it or not, people are taking it in a literal sense. When he said he was in Chicago, guys are like, pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up. Because they're like, yo, you're there for real? Okay, we want to see you.
Yeah.
If you're really there, let us see you. But him, he likes to be ghost. So in a way, like, I don't know, man. 6ix9ine's a pussy to me still because he moves like it. I don't even mean to say it in that way, but
he is.
In my essence, he's scared as shit.
He's a jokester.
He's super scared. No, but he's a joker, but he's not like, I don't know, man. When I see like jokers in some of those guys, because, you know, they make comedy, they have to be ready to fight or throw down because people always get sensitive.
Yeah. Joker will fight Batman with a crowbar in a heartbeat.
Right.
And he's tactical. He'll
one thing about Joker is heart.
Traps.
Joker has heart because it wasn't just about making things. And because he put in work. Because people really knew he was really about that. As much as he make jokes or whatever, he was really like, okay, I'm going to kill you. Even when he made that Joker movie, the reason why people love that movie so much is because obviously it's the underdog going through the stress. Shit just being thrown at him. The fact that he finds out that it's not his father. Then it's like, you know what I mean? Kills his mom, goes off. Then that time when I think the police come into his house or whatever, but he's cool with that one homeboy from the clown thing. So he lets him live. But everybody else, nah, you're dying. Like, you was making fun of me. You thought I was cool? Nah, you're getting clapped. Like, I love people who are about principle. Like, if you're cool with me, I'm going to let you slide. But if you're not cool with me, you just walk the other way. You know what I mean? So I like that.
Man. 6ix9ine doesn't have no Greek mythology dude named Pan.
He doesn't have any allies. The difference between Joker is Joker had allies still. As much as he was evil, he had people willing to do his dirt for him, and that's an ally. Like, maybe maybe corporations are gonna do the dirt for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know who Joe Exotic was like a Batman villain in my mind.
Joe Exotic was a Joker.
He had all those. Yeah, exactly. He had all those minions, like those homeless dudes working for him and all that. that was like a Batman villain situation.
To an extent, Joe Exotic was charismatic to these guys.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
That's like personality trait.
Yeah,
man.
Personality. Like, you heard that he's going to be making that movie. Nicolas Cage is going to be in it. That's crazy. Like,
I think that was a whack choice, but whatever.
Yo, what are you talking about? It's going to look like him, bro. It's going to look like him.
I would have went with like a Rob Lowe or somebody.
Yeah.
You think so?
With more acting chops. Yeah, Nicolas Cage.
Who's David Spade?
Cage. David Spade pretty much already played Joe Exotic.
That's what I'm saying. He'd be perfect.
Oh, that's too easy of a pick.
That'd be sick. That'd be sick still.
But there's a Greek mythology like character named Pan who like plays on chaos, and like 6ix9ine is like super parallel to this guy.
Sounds like Loki.
I know.
Loki's like another type.
Loki is a shit starter too, because anytime when it comes into it, he's always trying to start something. He has that power, but he's not like, he doesn't like to be good. He likes to be like, you know, the shit shaker and always do something out of opposite, knowing that he could, but he just doesn't want to.
6ix9ine's more for Loki if you think about it, because Loki's a big pussy too.
Yeah.
Got the shit kicked out of him by the Hulk. He's always trying to scheme on his brother and try to get him killed. Yeah, 6ix9ine's Loki.
Yeah, because the thing is, when it came down to him getting kidnapped and all that stuff, you know the one thing
he was winning for a little bit.
Yo, he admits he's not a G, man. He got beat up. He when he was on the IG live, the one thing that it sounded like was bitter. Like you still have all this money, but you're bitter.
But it don't
you're
mean nothing.
bitter as hell.
Yeah,
yo,
happy, man.
Your baby mother decided to do something outside of the realms of what was supposed to be happening.
Yeah.
That's that. You don't have to be attached to that. You shouldn't be getting mad at that. You should be questioning her if she's willing to go do that. You know what I mean? If your people and your team was trying to do those things and you had an opportunity to walk away sooner, why didn't you? Why did it have to come to this like?
Yo, I got comic book parallel right here. So when Loki at Thor Ragnarok, when he was hanging out with Grandmaster, and he was at the top of the world hanging out with all the big dogs, he was still hating on his brother. He was still talking shit about the Hulk. Bitter as hell, just like 6ix9ine.
It's a bitter thing because it's like he knows in himself that life will never, ever be the same for him. He's always going to have to live in a circumstance where he's protected and guarded. And you know the one thing, when you're a street artist, the one thing you want the streets to do is feel you. And if you can't go out in these streets and be felt, it's going to be different. Because I don't even see like 6ix9ine doing any club shows ever. He's going to always have to do stadium stuff. He's never going to be able to be like, I can reach out to my fans and touch them unless it's like 10 cops. And the thing we have to remember is that how do we know that 6ix9ine's still not working with the police? The police is still one of the biggest gangs in the world. They have the money and the resources to do everything. How do we know that they're not funding this? How do we know? We don't. And that could be a bigger thing. This could be funded by the police.
Yeah.
I'm not.
That's what I was trying to get you guys to start. Because, like, yo, this is a bigger thing happening.
It's way bigger. There's a way bigger agenda than just him being an artist. The fact that they gave him $10 million, he's been able to leave jail because of the coronavirus and his asthma, where other artists like Kodak Black, for instance, is like dying to get out. He's now about to reach out to Kim Kardashian.
And as foolish as Kodak Black is, what is he talking about in his music? If you actually listen to things he's saying on his album, what is he actually saying? It's encoded secretly.
Oh, a
lot of
clone, bro.
Yeah. 5% shit. You know what I mean?
Kodak
he's talking
on
black
the music.
Yeah.
And the Kodak with the antics seems like two different people, man. It's a clone.
I know.
It cannot be the same person, man. Like,
I don't think he's a clone, but I think the people around him are penning his shit. Like,
yeah,
yo,
I was like,
we gotta put this in, and then you could talk your garbage. And
but you have to remember something too. To be an artist, sometimes you gotta your mental stability. Sometimes you gotta be kind of out of whack to kind of like be a good artist. Sometimes because you're in a box where you're like, okay, I want to set myself apart from other people. So I just feel like what we should really be looking at with Kodak Black, because he's young, is his mental stability. He's probably dealt with a lot of post-traumatic stress. He's probably gone through a lot of things.
All black people deal with post-traumatic stress.
Yeah,
man,
but
every day.
The fact of the matter is not everyone deals with it the same way. So that's the thing with him. With him, I think like he's thought irrational. He's probably gone through things, had to have his gun on him all the time.
But he has the money and the resources to get the therapy.
He does, but that therapy is only an aid if you want to take it. And a lot of these guys, they don't want to take it. They'll go to it. They'll go to a session and then they'll look at it and be like, it doesn't make sense.
But
some black people don't think that they think that's brainwashing.
I think
especially
the major
in the
word
part of Florida that he might be from, they might be thinking
they're brainwashing, baby.
Brainwashed?
They're like, they're gonna brainwash you, baby.
I think honestly though, the major word is accountability. I know if you guys probably taken the Mike Tyson podcast, he tends to be very accountable. When they'll talk about things, he'll be like, yeah, I spent $40 million. I just threw it away. I was fucking all these girls and I was doing. When you become responsible for your own actions, then you can go on and heal. And I feel like when I will listen to Mike Tyson, he's healed because he's taken accountability for what he's done.
Yeah.
Sometimes these guys, they don't want to take accountability for their actions, and that's why they get stuck.
Well, Jovi, here's the thing right here. You either got to take therapy or you take dick when you go in jail. So.
Nah, I doubt that, bro. Those guys still have money. Some of these artists still have money, man. Jail, when they come to those circumstances, the celebrities, they're going to probably put them in either a protective custody situation because a lot of people will attack them because they're famous.
It's the guards that have been attacking them reportedly right now.
So what it is, he's probably either talking to them in a certain way or, like you said, with the guards, they don't care. They're like, yo, I don't care how famous you are. If you want to mess with me, I'm going to beat you up.
The guards will dick you down too now, don't get it twisted.
I don't want to say they're going to dick them down, but I will say that if they feel that they need to be aggressive, they'll handle things aggressively.
Now, speaking of we were talking about the boys in blue with this whole gang shit.
Yeah.
The blue checks on 6IXNINE's Instagram live were crazy. Like it was majority blue checks on there.
So
like
hella celebrities watching them then.
Yeah, but these guys are the same people who are like, yo, don't support him, don't do that.
I know.
Like I watched it after on Worldstar. They posted it again.
I did too.
So
they're waiting to dip their foot in that water so they can collab with them, Casey.
That's it. They're
That's
like looking
exactly
for
what
collabs,
it is.
whether it's like a negative energy collab or a positive energy collab. They're on there like, yo, fuck you, you know, like saying stuff, and then like, it's like, why are you in here? Why are you even giving this energy? Like,
there's always going to be somebody on the bandwagon always trying to keep up with the relevance of doing what they need to do, and you can sometimes see it. I don't know who he's going to reach out to. I don't see him being with a rapper. I see him maybe going in a route where he's going to.
I disagree. I can see him doing something.
No, I see him doing with
Tory Lanez. I can see him doing something.
There's been a lot of rumors about that, and honestly, I don't know, because it's just a circumstance at this time where it's like
he's doing that Corona video stuff on Instagram. All it's gonna take is for 6IX9INE to pop on there. That's gonna
but he tried to. He tried to, and he got curved. He was on there. He was talking on there. No. There's a circumstance because of the fact that some of the content that Tory raps about, he understands. Like, he's not rapping imaginary stuff. A lot of the stuff Tory raps about, me being poor, homeless, having to sell things.
It's
like,
actual facts.
When you go through work like that, your mind changes. I see him more doing like a Selena Gomez, a Justin Bieber. Like, those guys don't care. They're not in the game. They'll never be street guys ever. So he's gonna go in a trajectory that's gonna be way off, but it's still gonna work. You know
I see him working with a big Brazilian artist or a big artist or like, you know, like a big name.
Bad Bunny. I see him working with those type of artists still because he's Mexican and that demographic, it's huge. It's huge.
Yeah, that reggaeton demographic.
But Bad Bunny, he still gets more views than Drake and Tory and any of those guys when he does live. He gets like 1.7 million like automatically without even trying.
I just felt it was kind of sad, like seeing all these blue checks on there, like talking shit or talking in the thing. Like this addiction to attention is just disgusting to me. Like
that's a celebrity lifestyle.
These celebrities aren't getting shows no more, so like they're thirsty for an opportunity to shine. There's not money coming, so they're like hungry for attention. They're doing the most. Like Safari, the man's got a fucking man's only page now. Like,
yeah, I know.
He's like $5 for something straight. Well, it's fans only.
Fans only.
Man will do push-ups for a 10. You know what I mean? It's like, what is going on here?
You have to understand that we live in a time where I remember Andy Warhol had this thing where he was like, everybody will have their own 15 minutes of fame. So it just comes to a point where it's like, all of these guys are trying to stretch that as much as they can by doing little things, whether it be controversial or not. So to us, it may be something that is considered bad, but as you know, no press is bad press. So the more that we speak about these people is the more that people become curious. What we need to do is not say anything at all. Because if this was the streets and this was like treated like the streets, 6IX9INE would no longer be a talk. No one would talk. Because from like experience of my life and understanding that people that have done things that have hurt other people, but they were in it and they condone it at that time, we don't acknowledge you anymore. It's like looking through glass. We're not going to see you anymore. Your name doesn't get mentioned. We don't talk about you. We don't call you. We don't look for you. And what happens is because he's a star and he has this money, because, you know, they spent a lot of money for that Times Square ad. A lot of money. Yeah. It's like $50,000 a day to put up stuff on that ad, on those billboards in Times Square. Mm-hmm. So for them to do that at this time, they've planned this. This has been something probably planned when they were in jail. Like, this is what we're going to do. You're not going to go on yet. We're going to do the rollout so you have the song first, and then we're going to make sure that everything is done. So obviously there's a mastermind behind him, and I doubt that mastermind will ever show his face because it will be a problem for him. It's going to be an instant problem for him.
Yeah, that's the thing I was thinking about when Meek Mill was wilding out on this 24-year-old kid online, on Twitter and stuff like that. I'm like, why Meek, man? Why are you wilding out on 6IX9INE? Who cares? There's a bigger play that's happening here.
Right.
Try to find out those people's names and just post those people's names online. Be like, this guy is supporting him. This is the producer behind the beat. This guy did this. How y'all feel about that?
I think,
you know what I mean? And make a dialogue if you're gonna.
You know Meek, man. Meek has always been pretty passionate, and I think what happens now, he's doing that prison reform where he's trying to get a lot of these prisoners out who've got into situations, and some of them are innocent. So I feel like he's just speaking from a place of passion, and you know, sometimes when it comes to that passion, you have to just remove that a little bit, just kind of like watch it, stay from a distance. Don't get so caught into it, because all it does is make 6ix9ine just be like, oh, you're meek, I'm going to answer you. Everybody else is saying the same thing.
Because he clowned him with his
Everybody else
response.
is saying the same thing, but he responded to you because you're important.
Yeah,
when you're important
to the hip hop culture,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
So,
When you're important, you're considered somebody who's like a purveyor of taste or influential. Yeah, you go say something to him, it's gonna. Because I bet you Drake ain't saying nothing. Drake's gonna do this. Drake's gonna be like, yo, I'm waiting for my album to come out. I don't really care about nothing else. You see, he just dropped the Dark Lane demos. He was shouting out a guy from the street named 50 on the cover. There's a guy who was from Scarborough, a known man, who's doing this thing out here and gets love. And I guess it was like a homage to him too. But like, you know what I mean? Drake is not gonna be around that. I know that. Certain superstars are just gonna remove themselves. So I feel like the realm of pop music, like 6ix9ine should just do pop music. Like you're saying, it could be pop, rap, pop, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Just don't be trying to talk gangster no more. That's done. It's dead. It's dead.
But if it's working, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
To be honest, the only distraction in that video was the girls. It was all girls in the background showing the ass for like 5 to 10 minutes.
There's people that say that shit was fire, that the lyrics are banging, and all it was is just him saying, "You dummy, you stupid, you dummy." Stupid.
I was like, why are people mad at these black girls doing this shit? Why aren't they mad at these girls?
Yo, they're trying to get a check. I can't be mad at people who got bills to pay. Yeah, you understand? When it comes to people, some people will do what they need to do to get this money. Like you said, OnlyFans is a big thing right now amongst the women out here who don't have no jobs. They're twerking. Believe it or not, when Quarantine Radio was on there, look how many girls were twerking on there, and they're sending their Cash App to get some money. So a lot of these strippers make this money from entertainment in the clubs. There's no more clubs. What are they going to do? They got to think towards the future. So OnlyFans is kind of like that transition. You don't pay another fee to anybody else, where you work in a strip club, you pay a percentage to like the owner or whatever. Nah, you're getting all that money directly. You're showing content that's you. And basically you're making all the moolah just for showing your ass and stuff.
I'm about to do that, man. I'm about to start showing my feet. Yo, I know they got somebody out there who like feet.
You're killing me. There's somebody who likes there's somebody outside in the world that likes everything. You're right. There's always there's a demographic of somebody who likes something.
$5 a month. You see my feet.
Don't kill me, bro.
I've been cleaning them and moisturizing them. I've been using CBD oils.
Black seed oil.
So what, flaxseed oil?
Don't kill me, man.
Y'all want to switch gears? I'm sick of
let's do it.
So recently, I think you guys probably all seen the video with Ahmaud Arbery, where these two jackasses shot him as he was jogging. So I just wanted to know your take on it. I'm not sure how much information you guys have. I've been doing my research, so I could jump in whenever you guys feel.
I could tell you just one or two things that I do know. I know that it was a former